Well, I think about me having a fever. And when the fever is 99, it will go down, okay? Or in Celsius, my temperature is 37 in Celsius or 98. But when we go up by 1 degree, there's a probability that it will go down. But when it gets in Fahrenheit, when it gets to 102, I worry. It's not just me having a fever. The fever is damaging my organs, my brain, my thinking, and my entire well-being. So this is how I think about every year the fever goes up. Every year we break another record. The warmest 10 years are in the last 10 years. Okay, so I am concerned about the well-being. That I think about the planet like me. There's a metabolism to the planet, the ecosystems, the oceans. There's a whole metabolism, and the fever, that's warming temperature, is damaging everything. It's influencing everything, and I'm very worried. I'm Inez Fung. I'm professor at University of California, Berkeley. I teach climate science, the carbon cycle, greenhouse gases. And I'm in 2 departments. One is Earth and Planetary Science, where we study Earth history, the relationship of the atmosphere to the ocean, to the geology. And the other department I'm in is Environmental Science Policy and Management, where we study the living system, humans and ecosystems, and how they interact with the physical climate system. Ever since Dave Keeling went to Mauna Loa Observatory in 1957 and measured the increase in CO2, so there's absolutely no question that the CO2 is now over 400, at least, parts per million, from 270 in the pre-industrial period, or 315 at the beginning in the 1950s. Now we've increased. That is a very clear record, and we now also have temperature thermometer records around the world. And so since the 1800s, since the Industrial Revolution, we can document the increase in temperature around the world. And now we have satellites that monitor the ecosystems, the oceans. We have so many monitors that we have. And so it is telling us what the planet is doing, our support system, what is happening to our support system. And so we can take action. If we take action, then all the data, all the monitoring is telling us, was that effective? Should we invest in this direction? Is it doing something? But with what is happening now, and why I'm so worried, is that I feel like my fever is going to put me close to the ICU, and the monitoring devices are going away, and so I get very worried about how we know where the system is going. How do we know if when we do any mitigation effort, whether that's effective or not? And whether how do you assess different approaches to mitigation? So we need that information. And I'm really concerned about losing that capability. What do we do about it? If I'm talking about my fever or my health, the first thing I would like to know is what caused it and how to reduce the whatever I'm doing. If I have diabetes, I should eat less sugar. So there is that part which we have to work on. And in the climate system, it is reducing the emission of CO2, methane, and all the greenhouse gases. Okay, now we get to the point where I need help. Okay, so then everything I do will have some consequence, side effects. So the mitigation would be doing more efficient buildings, okay, so that you don't have the air conditioning system in the basement, and then you have to pump the cold air against gravity to cool the upper floors, or smart agriculture, right? So how do you use water efficiently? All these things we're running, there are many things that we can do which are smart things to do, whether it is climate relevant or not climate relevant. Okay, they're smart, they are efficient, okay? And renewables, the incentives, the carrots to go to, I have an electric vehicle, because, not just because I think it is climate sensitive, but I can cross the Bay Bridge on in the special lane without having to pick up additional passengers. Okay, so there are incentives to do climate smart things, but also on a much larger scale, the government putting incentives, the government working together to do things. That there are many ways to address the problem. The good news now is that renewable energy may be cheaper than coal. So there is an incentive to move in that direction. So there are many proposals to remove CO2 from the air, but those at the moment we're still in the learning phase about what is effective, what are the side effects, if we put, and how do we scale it to a point where we can remove enough CO2 from the air to make a dent in the warming. So we're still in the learning phase for that, and we're not ready for that. As any problem, there are many levels, but climate is a global problem. And so yes, there are individual things I can do, put on solar panels, drive an electric car, eat less beef, et cetera, et cetera. But more importantly, because it is a global problem, we need our governments to work together, to solve it together. So it is not just the problem, I live in California, it's not just a California problem or a New York problem, it is a global problem. And so that's where the voting becomes so important. Okay, so that we want to have our representatives enacting what we think is important, so that we can all have the collaborate and address our future together.